Welcome back everyone to another exciting and eye-opening video about some of the most fascinating and valuable coins ever minted in the United States. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible story of the 2003 Liberty Dime, a coin that many people overlook every day, yet one that could be worth an unbelievable amount of money. Yes, you heard that right. A small silver-colored dime with a face value of just 10 cents could actually be worth over $102,000 in today's collector market. This is not just another coin story, this is a story about rarity, precision, minting errors, and the hidden treasures lying quietly in your pocket change. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why the 2003 Liberty Dime has captured the attention of collectors around the world and why you should start checking your coins right now. The 2003 Liberty Dime is part of the long-running Roosevelt Dime series, which began in 1946 after the passing of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The dime was created to honor his legacy and leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. Designed by John R. Sinek, the dime features Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse side, with the inscriptions "Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust," and the date 2003. The letter P under the date stands for the Philadelphia Mint, where the coin was produced. On the reverse, you'll see the torch, olive branch, and oak branch, powerful symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. These elements together represent the enduring American spirit. Now, 2003 may not sound like an especially old year, but what makes this dime so special and valuable are the unique minting errors and rare variations that occurred during its production. Mint errors can transform an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. In the case of the 2003 dime, a few extraordinary examples have surfaced with errors that make them worth thousands, and in the rarest case, over $100,000. One of the most talked about features in some 2003 dimes is the double die error. This happens when the coin's design is accidentally struck twice, slightly misaligned, creating a doubled image on letters or numbers. If you look closely at the word Liberty or "In God We Trust" and notice faint shadows or overlapping lines, you might have a double die error dime, and that could skyrocket its value. Collectors pay huge premiums for these coins because they're not only rare but visually striking examples of minting imperfections. Another variation that drives up the value of certain 2003 Liberty dimes is the off-center strike error. Imagine the design being slightly misplaced during minting, so that part of the image is missing or shifted to one side. Some dimes show only half of Roosevelt's face, while others have the lettering partially cut off. Depending on how dramatic the error is, the coin's value can range from a few $100s to well over $10,000. Then there are the broad strike and die cap errors, coins that expand during striking or get stuck in the press, resulting in unusual shapes and edges. These coins look almost melted or stretched, and yet, these strange appearances make them one of a kind. Some 2003 dimes with such dramatic errors have fetched over $15,000 in auctions. But that's not all. There's an even more mysterious and extremely rare variety known among collectors as the missing clad layer dime. Most modern U.S. dimes are made from a combination of copper and nickel, a clad composition. Occasionally, one of the outer layers doesn't properly bond to the inner copper core during production, leaving a coin that appears copper-colored on one or both sides. A 2003 dime missing its clad layer is instantly recognizable and highly desirable. Depending on its condition and visual appeal, such a coin can be worth between $5,000 and $25,000. Now imagine combining some of these errors: a double die strike with a missing clad layer or an off-center strike on a mirror-like proof finish. Those combinations are practically unheard of, but when they do appear, they become priceless to collectors. The most famous 2003 Liberty dime ever sold was one with multiple visible errors: a slightly off-center strike, faint doubling in the word Liberty, and a noticeable color variation due to partial missing clad. It was graded at an extraordinary mint state condition by a top grading service and sold for a record-breaking price of over $102,000. That's why the market value for the rarest examples of this coin is now estimated at around $102,000, depending on demand grading and rarity. So, how can you tell if you have a valuable 2003p dime hiding in your change or coin jar? First, look for the mint mark P under the date. This confirms it was minted in Philadelphia. Then carefully inspect both sides of the coin under good lighting or a magnifying glass. Pay attention to any doubling on letters or numbers, unusual colors, off-center designs, missing details, or rough or misshapen edges. These could all be clues that you're holding a mint error coin. Condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. A coin in circulated condition, one that's been used in everyday transactions, might still be valuable if it has rare errors, but coins in uncirculated or mint state condition are worth significantly more. Professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC can officially grade your coin and certify its authenticity, which can dramatically increase its market value. Even a standard 2003p dime without major errors can be worth a few dollars if it's in pristine, uncirculated condition, but when you add in an error or unique characteristic, its price can multiply exponentially. Now, let us explore the historical context that adds even more depth to this coin story. The early 2000s were a period of advanced minting technology in the US. Those advances, human and mechanical errors, still found their way into the minting process. In 2003, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia produced hundreds of millions of dimes, but only a handful exhibited those rare flaws that make them so desirable today. It's incredible to think that out of millions of coins, maybe only a few dozen are the rare error types that collectors chase so passionately. The Roosevelt dime has always carried emotional and historical significance. Franklin D. Roosevelt led the country through one of its most difficult eras, and the dime was chosen as a tribute to his fight against polio, since the March of Dimes charity was originally created to support polio research. Every dime, therefore, carries a symbolic connection to hope, recovery, and perseverance. That's part of what makes these coins so loved by collectors. The 2003p Liberty dime, while modern, carries that same symbolic weight, but its errors and rarity elevate it into a new category of numismatic treasure. Over the years, coin collectors have uncovered numerous varieties of this dime with subtle differences. Some show slightly different strike pressures, making Roosevelt's portrait appear deeper or flatter. Others display weak strikes, where certain details like hairlines or lettering are faint. These minor differences might not catch the casual eye, but advanced collectors pay attention to every detail. They document and study these variations, comparing them across different minting batches to determine how and why such anomalies occurred. Another interesting aspect is the coin's luster and toning. Some 2003p dimes have developed beautiful rainbow-like colors due to natural oxidation or chemical reactions with their storage environments. While toning can sometimes reduce value, in many cases, especially when the toning is even and vibrant, it can actually increase the coin's appeal and price. Collectors call these rainbow dimes, and depending on the pattern and color intensity, these can fetch several $100s or more, even without any errors.